Hi, my husband.
Hi, my wife.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm very well. Um, Sorry, we're not greeting you guys today. But if you are new on this channel, if you are new on this channel, welcome. I have to greet you. But I'm not greeting you guys today
hmm
because today is about us.
What did they do to you now?
I don't know. I don't also like greeting them today.
Okay.
It's not fight too. Yes, we're going to be having a conversation around our first year married.
Mm-hmm.
After which, we're going to say love things or read love notes to each other. All right? Who's ready? Are you ready? Why are you spoiling your mouth?
What's your problem? I'm
All
ready.
right. So
Yeah.
I would love to know, as a general overview,
Okay.
how do you feel about our first year? General overview, just general overview,
Hmm.
not necessarily into a particular detail, but just a general overview of your first year of experiencing the married life.
Okay. So, before I got married, I used to have people tell me things like the experience you have in marriage is not the same as dating,
Hmm.
and also that I would usually say things that come to my head about what I think a marriage, how a marriage should be,
Yeah,
and those relationship advice as a single person.
I agree.
And I
I
hear most people
remember.
say things like, "You see these things you're writing. When you experience it, they are going to change. You're going to have clearer picture. You're going to experience the real thing. So all of these things you're saying will not believe them, will not count them to a valid point
Hmm.
until you are
Married,
married, right?
and you felt like your relationship and marriage ministry was literally waiting for marriage
Yes, we're married.
validation.
Exactly. So my 1 year married has been, and an interesting thing is that I'm not sure is not exactly what I was expecting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in as much as yes, I wasn't experiencing the marriage, but the past 1 year, I don't think it's different from what I was anticipating, what I was expecting, and how I believed marriage should be.
Hmm.
So this 1 year has actually been something I planned,
Hmm.
and something that is working out as planned.
Okay.
However, I would say the difference is, or my experience so far has just been the part I did not maybe the part I may not have planned is the part that my wife would still be in school, and I'd have to wait some days to see her, and that. So I did not see that coming,
Hmm.
and that's the only that I say unusual part I did not plan for. But generally, the 1 year has actually been interesting. It has been me finding somebody supportive. That's word that the Bible talks about, finding a helper.
Hmm.
I think that has been the summary of my experience
Hmm.
for the past 1 year. Somebody who's helping me, especially, I really can't say that there is just one specific area. But I think generally you've been supportive, and I feel that that is what my experience has been in terms of having conversations, seeking for advice, helping me out in different things, even in my health, even in what was it called, making financial decisions and all of that. So I'd say the summary of my 1 year has been finding somebody to help me, as God said in Genesis, yes. And yeah, also in addition to that, I think Maya has also taught me. Maybe I see this is the part of the question.
I just express
Okay,
yourself.
marriage has also taught me that having a woman in your space is something new, right? Something new, especially when she's a responsibility. Um, yeah, that's another unique experience I have had so far. One unique experience that I mean, having a woman in your space. How do you see things? How you look at things is going to change, of course,
Hmm.
and your life is definitely going to change. Sometimes as a man I am objective. I am, this is what is happening, let me do it this way. But
Logical.
Yes, but now having a woman in my space is, I have to have a lot of considerations, right? Consider the other person and that. But generally, the one word I would say is I found somebody supporting me, a supportive partner, a helper, somebody who is helping me grow, helping me achieve my goals, helping me be the best version of myself. And that was what I was expecting in marriage. How's marriage been for you so far?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to put it into a particular box, but being married to somebody like you, I think I like to put it forward that marriage has taught me a lot of things, and it has stretched me to being the fact based off the fact that I'm combining two major things in life. I'm combining my academics and I'm combining marriage. However, I think marriage has really given me um a big push in life, um compared to how people see that, oh, if you get married early, you're what are the tags now? Your life can stop, all of those
Mm,
things. I think it's different for me. I
mm,
feel like being married to you has given me a very big and sharp edge in life, and I'm very grateful for it every day. And although it's hard, to be honest, uh, you know, I get a lot of people tell me, "Oh, I like your life. I live my dream life."
you mean getting married is your dream life?
Yes,
Okay.
and I shake my head like I get you, but I also want you to understand that it's a lot of work, it's a lot of weight, and it's a lot of responsibility. But generally, I've been having the time of my life,
Hmm.
and thanks to you, thanks to your leadership, thanks to your sweetness, thanks to your, I think you're a very good guy, okay, and you've treated me so well, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. So that's how the first year of marriage has been for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What is one thing that marriage has taught you that dating did not?
Hmm. One thing that marriage has taught me that dating did not. Um, the obvious one is responsibility. Yeah,
Allow me laugh.
yeah, I think it's responsibility because there were limitations as to the responsibility I had then
Mm,
during dating, but now, just like I think it goes both ways.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm now more responsible. What was it called now? Those things that I would maybe not necessarily give you suggestions and advice, or not. I may be at liberty to just offer suggestions, and maybe I would not care about them.
Be consequential.
Yeah, but now that I'm married to you, it's now my responsibility. I have to do those things.
Right.
So I feel like the difference is basically responsibility. Now that um, when you go out, I'm responsible.
Mm,
I'm like, how are you doing? Where are you? I'm concerned.
mm,
And when you want to make decisions, even um, in regards to your school, your education, and your academics, when things maybe you are struggling with something, it's now affecting me. It's not something like I want to be part of
mm,
what you're going through, and thinking how I can really help. So marriage has taught me that. Marriage has also taught me that is more than just emotions and feelings.
mm.
It is commitment.
I agree.
Yeah. So um, I think in dating, most of the things you experience because the person is not living with you, you
Yeah,
you are controlled. A better part of you is really controlled by emotions,
that's
right?
what I was going to
You want
say.
to see this person, you're anticipating how living with them is going to be, you're
Yeah,
anticipating how moving in together is going to be. So you just want that experience to come. But when you're not married, you now start living with this person every day. You see those parts of this person that you've not seen, you did not see
yeah,
during dating, and now it now graduates from just that butterfly in your stomach to now I have chosen to be with this person, the actual
Mm.
commitment. So even when you see their bad sides, there are maybe areas that they are improving on, you accept them that way. So
You
I
have
feel
to
like
live with it.
yes, marriage is now has taught me more of commitment
Mm.
than just emotions, right? Yeah. So let's
I
hear from
agree
you
with
too.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just real, to be honest.
Mm,
The fact that, especially when you are building after God's pattern,
mm,
it will teach you responsibility. It will teach you commitment. It will teach you, I chose this person, and come what may, we have to stick together and make this work. So, I mean, and you, I, you were not the person who started something in dating and stopped because we got married.
mm.
I experienced all the sweetness. I experienced everything. So when it comes to the butterflies and all, I can still say they are there. However, on some days you you press my plug, I'm like,
Me, press your plug.
sorry. But then we step on each other's toes, right? But
I'm always careful. I watch your toes. I don't step on your
stop,
toes. I'm always
stop,
careful.
stop, stop now. But I feel like marriage will teach you commitment, it will
Okay.
teach you responsibility.
Mm,
I mean, in a way, I also feel like your parents have willed you to me, and I care about your health. I care about how you're faring. I care about what's happening in your work. No, I didn't care about all of that during this, but and I care deeper about your work now because that's what brings money to the table.
mm,
I care about who you're working under. I care about the kind of business investments you are planning to make and all of that. So it's just a deeper,
mm.
depending on what you did in dating, anyways. If you build also in your dating phase, um marriage will not come as a shocker to you, but the reality of it
Mm.
is still heavy. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
What's a small daily habit that you think has helped us so far, like to keep our marriage strong and all? What's one daily habit you feel like?
I think there are a lot of them. To be
Mm.
honest, I think there are a lot of them. And the first thing is every day understand that, or should I say, every day you know that and acknowledge that you've chosen this person.
Is that an habit? Something that we do every day that has helped us?
So whenever you wake up in the morning, irrespective of however you're feeling or what this other person does,
Mm.
you tell yourself that this person is my wife.
Mm.
So I think that for me, that's one thing I do. I mean, um, and when I really realized that most of the time I tell myself that this person is my wife, she's now my responsibility. I need to take care of her. So I think what exactly am I doing now that I might not be proud of in terms of being your husband. So I think one thing I do, I would say it is that says that I introspect.
Mm.
I think
Mm.
I make review. I think I do that daily.
Mm.
How can I become a better husband? In terms of work, how can I provide better? How can I have time for my children? How can I have more time for my wife? So I introspect daily, I review, and I look at areas where I could actually improve, areas that needs improvement. That's one thing I do. Also, one thing I do is pray. One thing I really do is pray. When you pray for somebody, you love them more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So when you pray for this person, I think is I don't know, maybe it's a psychological thing, but when you pray for somebody, you feel like you love this person more. So and you're committed to them. So prayer, um, thinking, also that ability to know that this person is human.
Mm. Mm.
So you're going to create space for weakness, for their shortcomings, right? And sometimes you just understand that this person, of course, people say things like, I got married to an angel and all of that. That's just to say you're complimenting this person and they are real angels. But
Mm.
you understand in marriage that they're not really angels.
Every angel, I don't know how to put it, but I mean, it doesn't matter how good the person is. There's
Yeah,
still always
they're
something.
not really angels, and you have to create room for them. And I feel that is what God wants us to learn in marriage.
Mm,
That this person is not 100% perfect.
mm,
So as you're not 100% perfect. You
mm,
make mistakes to just like how they make mistakes. So create room for that. So I feel that that is also something I do daily.
mm.
I think I review my thoughts, my attitude, and see how I can actually improve. And I pray for you also. So yeah. How about you?
Um, One thing that I do,
Mhm.
I make sure that we do is that we communicate. So, and that is major for us because half the time
Yeah.
in this marriage we were not together because I'm in school.
Mm.
However, I put in every effort to make sure that we communicate.
Mm.
Sometimes morning till evening, sometimes I just call you briefly in the morning, right? Just to
I
sometimes
agree. Yeah.
just even few seconds when I'm walking down to class,
I agree.
just so you know that oh, I've started my day.
Mm.
And then sometimes you work late into the night, you are not fully able to commit to a conversation, but at least I still try to see your face, try
Mm-hmm.
to ask you how your day went and all of that. I think that that's a really strong point for us because of the kind of condition that my being a student has put us in.
Mm.
So I think that that communication, we don't joke with it. And sometimes even when we come home, when I'm back home rather, we still find time to have deep conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our communication game over time has really gone very well. And yeah,
Okay.
uh, maybe I also mentioned the fact that you've also taught me. I think you did. You it's not. I think you taught me how to properly have conversations. You know, when we first got married, when we first got married, if I try to have a conversation, I flare up like I go like I couldn't sit down to have reasonable conversation. I think it's not even it didn't start in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It started from dating,
Mm-hmm.
but marriage itself brings you into more intense moments.
Mm-hmm.
So half the time when we're having issues and you are always bigger person anyways, you're like, sure I'll come. I don't like the way you're mm, swelling up and down. Come and sit down, let's have a conversation. And then I'm all in my emotions, I'm all in my head. And then before you see one, I'm already like, no, that's not it. I'm constantly interrupting you. I'm not even allowing you to land at your point.
Mm-hmm.
And then series of conversations has brought me to a place where if I'm having a conversation, I remind myself this person is an human being. He talks and you talk to. You try to understand him. You're not trying to project how you feel on him. And I think so far so good. Sometimes it still happens, but are you confirming that I've improved?
Yeah. Yeah. I I I'm not sure if we still have major intense arguments anymore.
Yeah,
For some few months now, I'm not sure we do that. So I believe you've improved, right?
yeah. Those are the kind of little habits that have kept us strong so far. Um, this question is to you. I'll probably answer it too. But how has your being an husband evolved over this past year? How has it evolved?
Yeah, I think I'm still learning. I'm still learning to be a better husband. And I don't think that it is a point that one has to get to. You keep improving daily.
Mm.
So I think I'm still new to being a husband. So uh,
Well,
mm,
for me, I even feel like I was I was really eager to be a wife in the beginning, and sometimes maybe because of a lot of stress in recent time, I kind of dropped the ball. I'm like, don't kill me, you to do it yourself. I remember the other night where you are dating in the evening and I felt like you should be able to sustain till the next morning. And I was like, I've also kind of eaten in the evening. Let's just sleep like this. I don't feel like cooking. And then you just stood up out of the blues and you were like, you're hungry. I wanted to faint.
you did want to faint then. It's a lie. Don't argue with you. You didn't want to faint. Because when you stood up, you were like, yeah, you felt sorry that you didn't give me food. So it wasn't, I didn't say anything like fainted
No, no,
out.
no. That was not the. It was not the day that there was rice. So the day
No,
there
really.
was the day I didn't actually cook anything. It was not the day you
That day
slept
you were
off.
lying down.
Yes, I was. Guys, I was already in the bed. I wanted to sleep. And then you're like, you were hungry. You were working, and you were hungry. Ah,
We know sometimes when I ask for food, it's because of you, because I don't eat that much.
no, no, no.
I
I'm not.
know.
I'm not saying you're a foodie. Oh. You barely eat. I'm. Of course, I'm the foodie in this marriage. So in that moment, I was like, can't you just endure? Can't you just? And then I thought about it again. That if you're not genuinely hungry, you not
Mm,
request for food. Then I just had to drag myself and
mm.
fix a quick meal for you. I didn't even prepare anything for myself because I was not in the mood. I just
What did you
wanted to
prepare
sleep.
that day?
It was noodles.
Noodles,
I
okay.
gave you noodles and fried egg. So I just had to quickly fix something for you so that you don't sleep hungry. So evolve, to be honest, I and that's one of the things that I'm trying to like review in this second year. So I think tiredness, responsibility is beginning to set in for me. And I don't I don't I honestly don't ever want to come to a place where I'm reducing in quality as a wife. I always want it to be better and better and better. So I won't say I've, well, of course I've evolved. I think I've become more matured than when we first started.
Of
Yes.
course, yeah.
So I can say I've evolved in that area. But in terms of caring and tending for you, it seems like stress is getting to me a lot. And sometimes I'm like, can't you just? However, um, that is not the way it should be. You should be sacrificial. You should always look out for the other person. You look out for me, and I should also be able to do the same for you. What is something that you admire about me more now than when we first got married?
I admire everything, every quality you have, because it's not like you started inventing something new, but I would say that you possibly are just improving in different things, your beauty, your character, how you. Okay, so I think one thing I've noticed that you've improved on is you're now more conscious of telling me your whereabouts that you would normally do when we started. I remember I had to bring that to your table that let me know when you arrive safely so that I will not be worried. So I think you've improved on that now. When you
Okay.
get somewhere, you tell me, oh, I've gotten here so that I know that this is your whereabouts and I'll not be worried. So I think that's one thing. You've always had that cooking ability in you. So I don't think there is anything, you've always known how to cook. In fact, when we started our marriage, when we got married, you're a good cook and you're still a good cook or you're a better cook. So what other thing again? I may not be able to point anything specific now, but I believe everything you have now have always be have always been something I admire in
Uh, for me, I
you.
think one thing that I admire in you better now that we just got married has to be the way you work hard, like how much you work hard.
But I've always been working hard.
So that's the thing.
Hmm.
When we were dating, there was quite a distance.
You couldn't see.
I couldn't really see into your life, right?
Hmm.
But now that we're married, I see, oh my God, your work rate is. Ah, I, sometimes I just sit down and think about my life like, you're so lazy. I feel lazy behind, like whenever I'm with you and I see the way you like put in work into everything that you do, how you're able to focus and get your goals. I'm like, you're just playing. You're just playing. Why you playing with your life? Why I don't know. I don't know whether it's your temperament. I don't know. I feel like you're choleric and you're a good getter.
Mm,
But I'm not, I don't have that temperament.
mm.
But I feel like your work rate
And the
is,
funny thing is, I admire your temperament. I wish I was
you're
like
able to
you.
slow down.
Yeah, to not bother about things the way I do. Sometimes I low key wish that I was like you, because that's that part of you that allows things to just fall into place at the right time is something I don't think I have.
Mhm.
Right? I'm always thinking what would happen, how do I fix this and make the outcome be this. But sometimes for you, you just let things work out, allow things to work out how
And they
they do.
actually do work
Yeah,
out
yeah.
somehow.
Maybe, maybe that is how it works for you. But for me, I'm always planning, setting
Ah
things, and
ah,
I'm
kilo day.
thinking how they're going to work. Sometimes I look at admire that quality you have, but I don't know. It's not just in me. I until something is properly figured out, until I know how the outcome is going to be, I would not settle. So it's something I really have, and I wish it wasn't like that. Some in some cases, right? Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like your work rate is out of this world, and I really admire that about you, and I love that about you, and it's it spurs me to do better for myself. Based off the kind of world we're in right now,
Mm-hmm.
how do we protect our marriage from outside distractions and pressure?
Hmm. So I think the first thing is to identify the areas where the pressure might come from. So one of the pressure I know that we might experience is um, pressure from our separate in-laws, right? Pressure from maybe to people's expectations.
Mm.
Yes. Financial expectations also, right? And how do we protect ourselves? I think the first thing we can really do is understand what we want. We should not define our marriage based off other people's
And
expectations.
I feel like we've been doing that, but um, I mean, it's also good to redefine these things, to be honest. So yeah.
So what I think is, yeah, um, of course there are going to be other people, third party opinions, but if you know what our marriage, have a perfect picture of what our marriage would look like. I mean, have everything, maybe most of the things planned out. Okay, this is what we want to do as a couple. This is where we want to stay. All of that. If we have that defined, what other people's opinion would may not necessarily mean anything to us. So
Yeah.
I think the first thing we have to do, and which we are doing basically, is plan our life as a married individuals. Where do we want to be in the next few years? What do we need to do, and all of that. So once we have that, then even if there are outside distractions, it will not affect us. And I think we are doing that, but we just need to improve on some areas because I understand why we're not maybe doing it in different areas or all areas is because of you're still in school. Once you're done with school, might need to really proper do a
Of
proper
course, we're going to.
planning and all of that. Yeah. So
I personally feel like this question should be how are we, because I feel like we are already, because every single day we see people's marriages on social media, and projection is real. Projection is so real, and this is me being vulnerable. There are times you see stuff on social media, you see, "Oh, somebody's husband did this for the wife," and you come home and you're like, ah, that is why not doing this kind of stuff for me. But then you fall back to your conversations, you fall back to your reality, you fall back to your family plan, you fall back to the vision
let me
of
ask
your
you a
home.
question. How do you handle that? Because I mean, other people might actually experience the same thing. You see other people's marriages, and you're thinking this may actually be something that we can introduce into our marriage, or
Mm,
maybe what the husband is doing or the wife is doing,
mm,
and I might not be doing that. So
mm.
how do you handle that really?
Um, I think that I am quite very realistic, and every time I see things on social media and there's that temptation to project it, I come back home. I come back home. I treat that factor or that thing that I see outside as an external factor. This external factor, the person I'm dealing with, his personality, the work he's doing, everything. Does he accommodate? Does he give him the luxury of doing this for me? How
Hmm.
can I even try to communicate it to him if it's something he can do? Am I going to come to him and start fighting him? This person and this person are doing this and this. You never do this and this for me. Or I try to like, babe, oh, there's this thing I like you. I don't know if you something you can do. And then we'll have a conversation around it. But now it's so unfair to project, and It's crazy because see, I'm on social media like full time. Everybody is literally packaging to give you the best side of themselves.
Mm.
So maybe because I know that the minimization, there's such my ability or my tendency to want to project anything into my home is so minimal, so is reduced to the barest minimum, because I know you are doing everything that you can to love me, right? However, if I feel like, oh, I don't feel loved enough in this way, it's something we can have a conversation about, not
Mm.
something that I'm going to project on you. Do you understand?
Mm.
So it's a very funny place to be, social media. All those God when, God this, God that. People take camera to do all of those things. So you have to be very, you have to be very careful. So in a way, one way that I shield our home from pressure and distraction is to understand that this is us,
Mm.
this is what we have, and this is what we are building, and that is what they are building, and this is what we are building, and this is where we are headed, and they are headed wherever they are headed to. So it really depends on seeing each other the way you are and what you are building and the future you are expecting and anticipating. Lastly, what is one thing that we are intentionally building in our home and our relationship right now?
I think it's parenting.
Parenting.
Yes.
Okay.
So I like how we are both intentional about how we want to raise kids, and how that is something that we talk about sometimes. Uh, and we consider different areas and
Mm,
different things and where we are currently.
mm,
And so I would say parenting is something that I like how we intentionally talk about raising kids, and both spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, how we want our kids to live,
mm,
how we want them to be raised is something that I like, and we're intentionally building. That's one.
mm,
Second is I also like how we have conversations, though you're beginning to improve on having conversations.
mm.
Not like those times that you don't want to have conversations with me. But now, um, I think how we're intentional about communication is something that we're building, and is a habit that I enjoy also.
Mm.
And also how that, in fact, the way we are building our marriage is something that we are building also.
Yeah.
I like how we talk, how we communicate about our marriage, and talk about areas that needs improving, and how we find solutions around it.
Mm.
Something that I believe we're doing.
I think that in the early days, you really tried to give culture to our marriage. You really tried to shape culture in this home. How we relate with our extended family members, how we deal with our intricate details, how we, generally speaking, to be honest, I think that you shaped the culture of our home, and I'm really grateful that you did that. And God also gave me wisdom to partner with you. So I feel like I really love what we're building, and I think that um, tomorrow is great. Tomorrow
Amen.
is beautiful.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, my wife, for being such an amazing woman. Thank you for being my help. Thank you for supporting me. The past 1 year has actually been such an amazing year for me. In fact, I'm grateful to God that you are everything I prayed for. Sincerely, you're everything I prayed for. I remember getting married to you, and people were saying that, are you sure about this decision and all of that? But I'm grateful to God that against all odds, I was able to make this beautiful decision. I can tell you that this is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, for choosing you. And I will choose you again and again and again and again. You're the most amazing person in this world. You mean a lot to me. I am grateful to God for making our path cross. I can't stop thanking God. Every day I wake up, I thank God for the opportunity to meet you. And trust me, you're such an amazing woman. You have such profound wisdom. You help me in many ways possible, if not all ways possible. And I don't really think that I can even repay you for the sacrifices, the help, and everything you've shown for the past 1 year. I'll choose you again and again and again. And I pray that the Lord will preserve you, He will keep you, He will make all your dreams and wishes come true. Most importantly, that all your secret prayers will be answered. Thank you so much, my love. I love you. Cheers to a beautiful year and many, many more amazing years ahead.
Hi, Hobim. Happy 1 year anniversary. It was not until some months into this marriage, I think around 6 months thereabouts, that the gravity of my decision to spend the rest of my life with you started to dawn on me. And it was in no way from a negative place. It was just the fact that the wheels of faith that I got on when I decided to get married to you, with my childlike faith and excitement, was steadily and safely driving into reality. And how much whatsoever actions we both take individually and collectively now decides the future of our home. And it was very scary at first, but I got back on the wheels of faith again, looking unto Jesus, resting in the conviction that He wrote our story, and this is just the beginning of the rest of our life together. Thank you for the past 1 year, my husband. Thank you for leading like Christ. Thank you for constantly adjusting to fit the demands of this home. Thank you for working hard to put food on our table. Thank you for every way that you have supported me. Thank you for every way that you have been a catalyst to my growth. Thank you for being consistent. Thank you for being true and real. Thank you for all the extra little and big pushes that you've given me in this past year when the demands of marriage and student life tried to kick me into weariness. I'm so grateful to God for the coconut head that He gave to us to start this journey when all odds were literally against us. I'm grateful to God for your leadership and for your ability to always stay the bigger person. The past 365 days have revealed to me that I am not as perfect and spotless as I used to think myself to be. And you have carried every imperfection and weakness with so much grace. Thank you for covering me in any and every way. Thank you for the early morning kisses, the consistent random bursts of compliments that you fill my day with. My decision to do this did not end up with me being miserable, because you have bent yourself to make sure that my life does not stop because I got married to you or because I decided to be your wife. I really think the best part of you is that you practice everything that you preach, and you have set standards so high and admirable. I promise to watch more movies with you this new year. I would never stop cooking your jollof rice, and I will not down my game in satisfying you in every way. I promise by God's help and grace to pray more for you and with you. Thank you for shaping the culture of our home and helping me live the life I had always thought possible. This is truly just the beginning. I have so much faith in God that our future is bright, and I pray that God will help us to maximize every training and lesson is teaching us in this season and beyond. I really, really, really love you, Obim. You are a good man, a very good man, and I promise to be by you always as much as the Lord strengthens me. I love you so much, my baby, my big baby. I love you so much.